Good evening and welcome to the Whiskey Lovers Society with me, Gert Retief. And today a little bit of a celebration. 500 video reviews that I've done over the last 2 years and just shy of 6 months. So quite a lot of videos. And if I look back at my whiskey journey over the last 2.5 years, well, it all started with the you know what. Apparently you cannot even use the word on YouTube anymore because they immediately flag your video as misinformation. So so it started then in 2021, 25 May. I started my first video. And it was a combination of things. Sitting at home a little bit bored, watching so many of different YouTubers on their whiskey journey. Now, I've been a whiskey drinker for, I think, 35 years already. So I did know a little bit about whiskey. And I thought to myself, maybe I can do a little bit better. Well, I would not encourage you to go look at my first maybe 20 videos, quite horrible. The confidence, of course, sitting in front of a camera and talking about any topic, although you might have the knowledge, but as soon as you start to record, that knowledge seems to just disappear from the head. And retake after retake after retake just to get one sentence correctly. Now, 500 videos later, I think I've grown a little bit. There's a little bit more confidence in my reviews. And I must admit, for me, it was never just about the reviews of the whiskey. It was not really much about the subscribers. But for me, the nicest thing is the interaction that we have with the community, the people that, the YouTubers that reach out to me, the YouTubers like Alan Wilson from the Whiskey Friend that sent me my first sample. It was super excited. The friendliness of the people, Roy from Aquavite, Ralphie, Multicasking, Gene and Charlie, they are such wonderful people and genuine people and people that support each other. And I think that community for me was the eye opener, and the joys that I got from interacting with all the people, the YouTubers and subscribers over the last 2.5 years. So I was thinking, and I sent out also some messages in the last day to ask the people what would be a celebrating whiskey. And I thought to myself, well, I do have a couple of good ones on the bar, a couple of age statement, 25-year-old, 18-year-old. And I thought to myself, they are special. They are, well, I think they will be nice. Then one I definitely know is quite a nice whiskey. But I thought to myself, for 500, it needs to be more than just an age statement. It needs to be more than just a run-of-the-mill whiskey. It needs to be something that's special, maybe not in the whiskey itself, but where I got it from. And with that, I am dedicating also this video to a very good friend of mine, Anton. He is such a fantastic guy, also a big whiskey lover, and also have quite a collection of whiskey, and very generous guy. And every now and again, I don't see him that often, but when our paths cross, there's always something special coming from his direction, and there's always something that is a little bit difficult to find, a whiskey that is in short supply. And the one that we are going to open today is definitely ticking all the boxes for me. Fantastic whiskey that I'm dying to try. I've had this on the bar, I think, more than 2 years already. and I was looking for that special occasion, and I think 500 reviews is definitely it. Now let's talk about the whiskey, and this is it. I hope you can see. I was hoping for a little bit of a sunny sunset here in Brussels. There's a little bit of a cloud, but it's lovely weather. It's 19 degrees outside. Yesterday 27 degrees. It was hell of a hot day. My poor dog was panting all day, so we had to sit in front of the air conditioner to cool off. But anyway, back to the whiskey. So this is the one that we are looking at, and it is called the Festival Bottling Whisky aan het strand. So whiskey on the beach. This is a cancelled bottled, and of course, taking back to my start in February of 2021, you can imagine why it was cancelled. Well, this was supposed to be the 4th edition, 29 January 2021, and we all know the world was cancelled by then. So this one is quite a special bottle, number 2 of 72 bottles. This is an independent bottled whiskey. It is from the Ben Riach distillery. It is non-chill filtered, natural color, bottled at 60.4% ABV, a scorcher. And at the back it says distilled at Ben Riach distillery on the 9th of the 9th 2013 in a refill hogsheads, transferred into premium first fill Bodega Fernando de Castelo Octave, cask number 296B, and on the 30 October 2019 was bottled by 3006 Whisky Independent Bottler. So quite looking forward to giving this one a taste. Of course, at 60.4% ABV, gonna be a wee sip, and I'm gonna definitely have to add some water to it. So Anton, my friend, I really appreciate your friendship. I really appreciate the fantastic bottle that you gave me. A fitting bottle for my 500 YouTube video celebration. So nice little pop to it. I am just going to put a wee dram of this one in. I'm definitely also going to share this with Anton. When I see him, I will definitely have a good generous sample waiting for him. So color wise, non-chill filtered, natural color. There's a little bit of a oiliness to it. There's a viscosity to it. It feels and looks quite oily on the glass. So on the nose, 60.4% ABV. Don't stick your nose into it. That is a nice one. Definitely sherry. Loads and loads of vanilla coming through. There's a toffee note as well. There's definitely some dark chocolate notes coming out. And I'm a little bit surprised. Well, I think if I do a little bit of a wake up and give it a little bit of a shaky, I think it's going to kick you in the nose. But it was for something that was just opened. There's not a lot of youthfulness coming out. There's not a lot of that 60.4% ABV coming out. But if I do give it a little bit of a twirl and I stick my nose in it, I'm still surprised. I was thinking this is really going to be strong on the nose, but it's not. It's lightly sweet. It's not an overly sweet whiskey. There's a friendliness to it. That toffee note is definitely shining through. That vanilla is shining through. Then I get a little bit of an appley note, like a deep, dark red apple note. And then I get that dried fruit component. I get a little bit of a oakiness, a little bit of a dusty oaky note. It's friendly. It is definitely friendly on the nose. So definitely on the taste, I'm going to be very careful with this one. Cheers. Oh. Wow. I did not expect that. I was thinking at 60% it's going to just evaporate, it's going to disappear immediately. It's going to be a burning sensation. Wow, very small sip. The first thing that I got is raisins. Sweet, very sweet. I was a little bit surprised on this, the intensity of the sweetness, the intensity of the dried fruit. Let me just go back again. Cheers. Wow, it's very sweet. There is no tannins, there's no bitterness. That is just sweet on sweet. That dried fruit, it's like chewing a big handful of raisins, some dates, maybe a little bit of a fig note, and you just chew it and that juices just start flowing. My word, it is nice. That hint of a dark chocolate note coming out, and I get a hint of a bitter note, just a touch as an afterthought. Let me just go try again and just to investigate if it's there or just my imagination. So cheers. A hint of a oak. It is so subtle, but I think in this case it's quite necessary to have that hint. Just that because it's quite a sweet whiskey. So if you did not have that little hint of an oak peeking through right at the back, I think it is going to be a little bit too sweet. But wow, Anton, my dearest friend, this is a stunning whiskey. Now I definitely have to add a little bit of water to this one. To be honest, I think I would drink it like this. Smaller sips, of course, just a half a shot, and just savor it and enjoying it. But just for the sake of the argument, some people say at that high ABV you need to add water. And I'm quite curious to see how much flavors I can draw out with a little bit of water. My scientifically measured spoon, I think this is going to be a full spoon territory. Definitely not adding drop by drop at 60.4% ABV. Give it a little bit of a twirl or shaky. Ralphie, I'm sorry. I do the shaky. Wow. Immediately it does elevate the sweetness. There's definitely more on the nose coming through. There's more of that toffee note coming through. A little bit of a dusty note also coming through. A little bit more vanilla. And also strangely, it seems like the alcohol was elevated as well. It's definitely that molecules are releasing more of its aromas. On a taste of 1 teaspoon. I didn't think it was possible. More sweetness coming through. More vanillas coming through. More toffee coming through. That sherry influence, that the raisins coming through. Wow, it's quite nice. And I think it also feels on the taste that the alcohol's got a bigger influence for me. Well, I did take a bigger sip, but it was like there's a little bit more of that alcohol sting to it. There's a little bit more heat from the alcohol on the taste. Oh my word, but it is nice. And I think it can take into the 2 teaspoon territory. So I hope I'm not overdoing it, but this is where I draw the line. Now, at the 2 teaspoon level, I think it is perfect. There was a lot of a change. There's a little bit of a freshly baked apple pie note, a little bit of a cinnamon note. That little Christmas cake spices is coming through. That alcohol is still very strong. even at 2 teaspoons. It reminds me a little bit of a pumpkin pie. The vanillas are definitely elevated. Oh my word, it's nice. Cheers. And now I'm in a big sip territory. It's still hot. It's still warm. It's very friendly, very sweet. All that Christmas cake in a glass coming out. My word, this is a fantastic whiskey. It's something that I really appreciate. And it's something that I have control over. I can decide how much water I put in. It's 70 centiliter bottle, 700 milliliters. If you keep on adding water to this one, you're going to stretch that to a bottle and a half. So I think it's a bargain. Not sure how much it cost. Not even sure if you can still find it. I will have a look after the review to see if I can find some prices, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that will love to try this one, and it is fantastic. So this is my whiskey review number 500. Please remember to like, share and subscribe. I also have a Patreon account for kids in South Africa. I'm not keeping any of the money. I give it all to them. And of course, ad revenue, not a lot, that will also go towards them. So thank you for watching. Thanks for all my subscribers for your lovely comments and feedback and recommendations over the last 2.5 years. So let's keep it going, and of course, see you next time. Cheers.